living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. You, the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. That we have each other, and for that we have each other, and we will rise, we'll rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in to Resilience Talks. It is so good to be here tonight. I don't even have all the words. It's been a minute, right? It's been a minute. First and foremost, can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? I am doing all of the technology tonight by my lonesome, and y'all know I struggle with the technology. So let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can see me in the comments. If you guys are watching me from YouTube, which is the best place to watch me, feel free to make your comments. Feel free to comment in. If you are watching me from Facebook or Instagram, hello, hello, hello. Okay, so you guys can hear me, you guys can see me. Wonderful. Just wanted to make sure before we got started. Again, welcome in, y'all. It's been forever, it feels like, but I'm so excited to be here with y'all tonight. Hey, Jaira, thank you. It feels really good to be here tonight. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys. I mean, I've talked to you guys individually, but as a collective, as a group, it feels like it's been forever. So I'm super excited. Last year we were on ALU's platform, and super grateful to G and all of ALU. It's where we collabed and we started, and it was a beautiful, beautiful platform, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm also happy for this new chapter that I'm in now, posting on my own YouTube channel, doing Resilience Talks. And for me, it almost feels like a coming home kind of feeling. So I say to you all, welcome home. For those of you who are new here, for those of you who have never seen or never participated in Resilience Talks, let me introduce myself. I am Octavia the Overcomer, and I chose Octavia the Overcomer not because it was the only other O word I could find, because it's not many O words. But however, it's because of all the things that I've gone through in life and have overcome, right? All of the things that I've had to go through. And so the person that you see sitting in front of you is someone who has been through hell and back, but refused to give up. And so I am so grateful to be here. I'm your host. I'm the curator of Resilience Talks. I am super grateful to have you all here, but I'm super excited, but I'm also really nervous. I don't know what it is, but every time I have to go live or every time I decide to go live, I get really, really nervous. And maybe you guys can't tell, but I promise you, I'm like shaking. I'm like, is my voice trembling? But either way, we are here. And again, I'm super grateful. So in true Resilience Talks fashion, we do our roll call. So if you are here, if you are in the chat, please feel free to write your name, say hello. This is Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. So what does that mean? That means that we all participate, right? This series, yes, I'm here, right? I'm here, but this series is about each and every one of us. And so really and truly, I would love for you guys to talk in the comments, talk to each other in the comments. I know some of you are on different platforms because I decided to go live on multiple platforms for tonight. But please feel free to talk to each other in the comments. We are all one big family, and this is how we grow. So feel free to do that. Once I see you guys in the comments, I will call y'all out to say hello, how y'all doing. And again, throughout the night, I will likely ask y'all questions. And throughout this entire series, what we've done for the past year or so, right? What we've done for the past year is we ask questions in the chat, right? I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm looking for your responses because guess what? This is a growing environment for all of us, not just for me, okay? Listen, for all of us. And so I really want us all to be tuned in to participate. Give me your honest opinions, give me your honest feelings. And I think that is where we begin healing and growth. All right, I see some of y'all commenting. I see some of y'all in here. I see you in Siki. Hey, girl. Auntie Sandy, how you doing, my girl? Hi, Riche. Hi. I see you. Who else? Hi, Jaira. Hi, Royal Highness. Who is that? Whose name is that? I feel like I know you, but I don't know your tag name. What's your name? What's your name, Royal Highness? I mean, you are royal. Go off. What's your name? Also, if you are on Facebook or if you're watching this from Instagram, feel free. Please share the live. Let people know that we're on here. Let people know that we're talking and we're gathering. So, just a little bit of background. I started Resilience Talks last year, March. So, it's a year today. I started it last year, March, and I birthed Resilience Talks from a place of pain. I was grieving, and that grief felt like a burden, right? It felt like it was going to overtake me. I birthed Resilience Talks from a place of loneliness where I was living in a different state, basically by myself with no one there, and not having that community really hurt me a lot. It felt lonely. It felt like I didn't have anyone. I birthed Resilience Talks from a place where I was holding on to things from years and years and years ago. But in all of that pain, right, I knew that there was a greater purpose for it. And I knew that that purpose was me being able to encourage somebody else to help them through their storm. Because if God allowed me to get through it, then I also know that He'll allow you to get through it. And sometimes all we need is someone else to encourage us. And so that's why I started Resilience Talks, and it's become this really beautiful thing, right? This really beautiful community where there are some people who have been rocking since March, right? It's become this really beautiful community where people are like, where we're all looking. So I get text messages all the time like, oh my gosh, Octavia, are you going live? Are you going live? And I appreciate each and every one of you who have texted me, who's encouraged me, all who's shown up. There are a few OGs in the chat. It's Nsiki, there's Jaira, there's Drea, there's so many, Marvin, Tamara, there's so many people who have shown up consistently week after week. And that in itself has been an encouragement to me. So while I birthed it from a place of pain, I realized that it turned into something really beautiful. And so it almost felt like I was blossoming into this healing that I really, really needed. And it came from just talking to y'all. Like literally, y'all thought I was helping y'all. Y'all was helping me the whole time. Like whole time y'all was helping me. So I really appreciate y'all. So I did take a break, right? I did take a break. So from December to March, I took a break. And I think I needed to, right? It wasn't because I didn't care. It wasn't that. It wasn't that I didn't care. I took a break because I cared about each and every one of you, right? I needed to do what I like to call a heart check, right? I needed to do a heart check. And what does that mean? That means looking at myself, coming face to face with situations, coming face to face with my circumstances, coming face to face with everything that's happened, right? In this break, I went through a lot. I moved twice. One was involuntarily. I had hospitalizations, and just moving from one state to another state. It's been a lot, right? And so I had to come face to face with myself. And that was physically, it was emotionally, it was spiritually, and I'd say even mentally, right? I really, really had to sit with myself and ask, what's actually serving me? What's draining me? What's hurting me? What am I always thinking about? What's controlling my thoughts, right? Where am I overextending myself? Because one thing about it, I love to overextend myself. Where am I abandoning myself? And that was one of the biggest questions that I really, really had to ask. Where am I abandoning myself? Because I realized that there was a pattern of behavior where I kept losing myself, right? For other people, for other things, for other situations. And it really wasn't benefiting me. And in fact, it was harming me more to be doing that, right? I had to confront these patterns. I had to challenge my habits. I had to celebrate my growth. And to be honest, I had to understand that there were some parts of me that needed to change. And it wasn't something that was glamorous. It wasn't something that was pretty, right? Because we often think about healing as this really beautiful thing, and it is, right? In and of itself, the word healing sounds really beautiful. However, when we think about what you have to do to heal, it is not pretty at all, because it forces you to be uncomfortable all the time. It forces you to move from stagnation to progress. And so it's not always a comfortable feeling, but it is necessary. And so what I've had to do is really come face to face with myself. Oh, hi, Trey. Hi, my love. Hi, Kima. I see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hi, everybody. And so what I've had to do really is come face to face with who I am, right? Yes, I'm an overcomer, right? So are all of us. We all are overcomers, right? We've all survived 100% of our battles because we are still here today, right? And maybe we came out with some scars and maybe we're still holding on to some things, but we're still overcoming, right? We've still survived. We still won, right? And so I realized through all of this, right? All through this break that I've taken, I realized that the most important relationship that I could ever have is with myself. And so I would love to introduce you to what our next topic for Resilience Talks will be over the next few weeks. It is called Me First. And this is where we talk about the relationship that we have with ourselves. And what does that look like, right? It looks like us really doing some internal evaluation about who we are, what led us to be who we are today, right? What are those patterns? What are those behaviors that cause us to be who we are today? And then also thinking about who we want to be and how do we close that gap between who we are today and who we want to be? What are the things that need to change about us? What are the things that we need to really take a deep look at, right? What are some of the things that we need to do some reevaluation on? Our thoughts, our behaviors, our patterns, right? What are those things that we need to do? And so that's what these next few weeks will be about. It's about putting me first. And putting me first means that sometimes I got to let some stuff go, right? That's really what putting me first means. And that's really what self-love is, right? We talk about self-love all the time. What does self-love look like? A lot of times it looks like letting go. Yes, we can go get our nails done. We can go get our hair done. We can go, we could go to the spa. We could go on vacation. And yes, those are beautiful forms of self love. Guess what? Baby, I've been traveling, okay? Like, I've been traveling. I've been doing the thing. I've been getting my hair done and getting my nails done and getting massages, right? I've been doing all that because guess what? It's important, right? It's necessary. But the deeper stuff, right? That deeper form of self love is coming face to face with yourself and saying, hey, where have I abandoned myself, right? Where have I overextended myself? What have I been doing to help myself in this season, to help myself grow? What are the things that have been pulling me back, right? A lot of us are drained, right? A lot of us are drained. A lot of us are tired because we've given our energy over to other things. We've given our energy over to other stuff. And so we really have to do this heart check, right? We really have to do the heart check, the mind check, right? Because what's in your thoughts? Right? Are you obsessing over the same thing over and over and over again? Right? Do you feel like you're losing control of your mind? Right? How about even physically, right? A physical check. Some of us haven't been to the doctor in years, right? And I'm not saying that to bash anybody because that's never, ever, ever my motive. But what I am saying is that you need to go check yourself, right? You need to make sure that you are where you need to be, right? Physically. Check your body because when your body isn't okay, a lot of times the rest of you isn't okay. It's like we operate as this one big organism. And when one thing is out of whack, then the whole system is out of whack, because it all affects each other. Where are you spiritually? Have you done a spiritual check, right? And I don't mean, oh, you have to go to church, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of us will never go to church. And that's just the honest truth. A lot of us will never go to church, and that is what it is, right? I'm not here to say whether you should or shouldn't go. That's not my business. That is your choice. However, where are you spiritually? Right? Where are you morally? Are you standing on business when it comes to your morals and your beliefs? Are you standing on business, or are you kind of like letting things go? Right? I see you, Auntie Sandy. Everyone needs a break. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Hey, girl. Yes, everyone needs a break. We all, baby, we all need a break. Okay. But what are those things? And so so throughout this, however long it lasts, this series of called Me First, however long it lasts, I really want us to do some introspection, right? What are the things that we need to check on, right? Financially, do a financial check. Where can you be spending your money differently, right? Where could you be providing those resources to something else? Like there's so many things that we need to check on so that we can make sure that we are becoming, right, all that we're supposed to be, because that's what this is about, right? About becoming who we're meant to be, who God called us to be. And so how do we do that, right? How do we do that? That starts with doing an internal check first. All right, y'all. I see some of y'all coming in. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. How you love yourself sets the standard, right? How you trust yourself shapes whatever decisions that you decide to make, right? How you speak to yourself influences your confidence, and how you treat yourself determines what and who you tolerate. And so I hope that you guys understand that. I know for me, and this is just me being a little vulnerable, I am so hard on myself, right? I am so super hard on myself because in my mind, it's like, you should be doing this. You should be progressing. You should be successful. It's all of these. You should have this by now. You should have that by now. And I realize that that kind of thinking does not serve me. If anything, it puts pressure on me that I don't need. Unnecessary pressure. And a lot of us are the same way. I'm not calling nobody out, but I'm just saying a lot of us put unnecessary pressure on ourselves because in our minds, we're looking at other people, we're looking at what other people have, we're looking at what societal standards are when really there are no standards, what people try to place on you, right? We look at those things and we think, oh, I'm supposed to have this and I'm supposed to have that and I'm supposed to be this and I'm supposed to, just stop. It does not serve you. How do you talk to yourself when you've made a mistake? That is the real test of self-love, right? That's a real test of self-love. If you want to know how much you really love yourself, make a mistake and see how your brain talks to you, right? See how you talk to yourself. Are you saying, oh, I'm stupid? Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did that. Or are you saying, hey, I did make that mistake, but I want to change and I want to fix it, right? Because when we are growing, right, we're always thinking about forward movement, right? So how can how can I change? How can I fix the mistake? And maybe there's no way to fix it, but it's still looking at that forward movement. So a lot of us have to think about, the way that we talk to ourselves. And I'm guilty. Listen, I'm guilty because I done said a lot to myself, right? I done called myself all kinds of names. But again, that does not serve you. And so this series that we're getting ready to go on is really about the relationship that we have with ourselves. And it's so necessary. All right. So I'm going to stop talking for just a second because I want to ask you guys a question. And I am reading comments, y'all. I am reading the comments. So please go ahead and respond in the comments. I really encourage you. I really implore you to actively participate. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you describe your relationship with yourself and why? So I'll repeat that. On a scale of 1 to 10, and I'll put this up here on the board. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship with yourself and why? I'm reading the comments. Don't worry, I'm reading the comments. I'm looking to see, what everyone is saying. And while you guys are writing in the chat, which I hope you guys are doing, I will talk about where I think my relationship is. I think that on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the relationship I have with myself is about a 7. It's not too low, but it's not super high either. I know that there is work to be done. There are things that I still need to, work towards. There's still things that I need to work on. And I'll be very honest with you, like my attitude. Sometimes I want to crash out, y'all. Like, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes Octavia the Overcomer, want to crash out, all the way out. And it's always the little things that bother me, right? I feel like I've been able to do, handle the big things But them little things, oof, baby, they get me. They get me every time, especially when it's about people that I love and people that I care about. It always gets me to the point where I'm ready to like lose it. But so I know that that's something that I need to work on personally. And at the same time, I do realize that I've had so much growth because if you had asked me a year ago, right? If you had asked me a year ago, how my relationship was with myself, I'd say like a 4 because I was constantly beating myself down, right? Constantly internalizing what everyone else was saying, constantly internalizing the negative things about myself that people were talking about, or the things that I said negatively just to myself, right? Like, oh, you're so fat. Oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you're so this. Oh, you're not educated. You're not smart enough. You're not all of these things, right? And so I do recognize that there's been growth in, who I am. And that will just continue, that'll continue to go because I'm being intentional about it, right? Alicia said, maybe an 8. I love myself, but just wondering why people can't see my growth. Alicia, baby, you might be around the wrong type of people, right? You have to be in the environment that's conducive for growth. And a lot of times people won't see it because people don't want to see it, right? And to be honest, there are a lot of times people do see your growth, but they don't want to acknowledge it. And that's just a fact. But if you put yourself in an environment where you can grow, it really doesn't matter what anybody else says. It really doesn't matter. You know that you're working on yourself. You know that you love yourself. You know that you've changed. So that external validation, you don't even need, boo. You don't even need it. As long as you don't let the hard days win, period. Period, Kima. I was saying 8 because yes, I do have a lot of improvement to make, but learn to embrace that and take it day by day. Absolutely. You said a really beautiful word, to embrace, right? What does that mean? That means to accept and own it, right? I get to own who I am, right? I own who I am, and it's a beautiful thing where, nobody else could be like, oh, well, you did this or you said this and you're this type of person. No, 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 no. Because I already know who I am, right? I know that. So you don't gotta do all that. I love it, Marvin. Thanks, boo. My little feelings be hurt. Alicia, baby. Listen, I understand. I told y'all, especially when it's the people I love, my little feelings be hurt. And immediately I get angry. And then obviously that that's another story. But I understand that your feelings are hurt. And again, that just means that maybe you're not in the environment that you need to be in for you to grow. And maybe those people can't see, right? Can't see who you are or who you're becoming. And that's okay because everybody won't. Um, yes, I saw you, Marvin. I saw you. I saw you with an 8. Y'all can continue commenting. Y'all can continue commenting down below if you like. We are right at 8:30, so I just want to give you a couple of things, these last 3 points for food for thought, right? Before we leave here. And obviously, like we will continue this series next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. All right, so let me just give y'all these 3 thoughts, right? This is what I thought about when I was preparing for tonight. In order for us to grow, right, we have to go through a process of acknowledgement before alignment. A lot of times we talk about, oh, this isn't aligned for me, or I'm not aligned to this, and this is not my season. I'm not in a period of alignment. Listen, right? Before we even get to alignment, let's talk about acknowledgement, right? Let's talk about that because a lot of times we are so afraid. We are so afraid to come face to face with who we actually are, right? Not performative you, not the you that you show everybody else, not the you that you put on, not the mask that you put on, but you at your core, right? A lot of us are afraid to show who we are. Even to ourselves, right? We are afraid to admit who we are, even to ourselves. But here's the thing, you can't fix what you hide, right? You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. And so if you never acknowledge the things that maybe you need to improve and work on, then guess what? You'll never improve and work on it because you refuse to talk about it. I have this thing where I have a hard time processing things in real time, right? And so what I have to do is say it aloud, right? I have to say it out loud that this is happening, right? Like I have to say it out loud. Like for example, right now, I am on live right now talking to y'all. I have to say things out loud because in order for my brain to register it and for me to process it, sometimes I have to say it out loud. And so I encourage you, sometimes you just need to say some stuff out loud, right? Yeah, I did this, right? I admit that I did this, or I admit that my attitude ain't so good. I admit that I don't make the best decisions under pressure. I admit that I am lazy. I admit that I am a procrastinator, right? What are the things that you need to admit to yourself, right? Acknowledgement. Oh, hold on. I'm reading. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Honestly, now I say like a 9. I had to learn myself and learn to unconditionally love myself. And of course, have my days, but I am honest and receptive to my needs and emotions. I love that, Brie. Then one day I realized that I loved myself. Ooh, but couldn't trust myself to do for me what I need, what I said I would. So I took time to really build that trust by showing up for myself. Absolutely. Girl, it wasn't easy, but it became something I refused to live without. Can we can y'all see me clocking it? Okay. Yes. Yes, Brie. All of that. All of that. I love that you talked about your journey, right? You talked about a journey here, and that's what I see. Like the fact that you're at a 9, I love that. I love that. It's the fact that you've learned to unconditionally love yourself. And even then, right? Even when you know that you love yourself, it's like there's still some more work to be done because guess what? Here you go with saying, well, I love myself, but I don't trust myself, right? I don't trust myself to do the things that I know I'm supposed to do for myself. So, how do you build that trust, right? And so, that's a beautiful thing that you were able to work on, not only loving yourself, but trusting yourself by showing up. That is beautiful. And a lot of us, listen, a lot of us have a hard time showing up for ourselves. We will show up for everybody else in the world. We'll give and we'll give and we'll give to everybody else in the world. But we don't show up for ourselves. We don't give to ourselves what we do everybody else. And it's a hard realization to come to that when you realize, dang, I don't even trust that I don't even trust myself. So how can you trust other people, right? It's not easy. But you build that trust with yourself by showing up for yourself, doing the things that you need to do for your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health. You start doing those things. I love that, Briche. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, all right. Moving forward. So acknowledgement before alignment. A lot of us need to admit some stuff, right? Maybe saying it out loud won't help you. Write it down. Like do something, right? Write it down so you know that you know that you know that you need to help yourself, right? So that you know you need to change. So acknowledgement before alignment, because once you're able to face it and say, yes, this is something that I need to fix. This is something that I need to improve. This is something that I need to grow, right? Then that helps you to move into that alignment and to be where you're supposed to be. All right, the next one. Boundaries are a form of self respect. We talked about this many times before. There are many of us who lack boundaries, and that comes from not respecting ourselves enough to have them. A lot of times we allow people to stomp all over our boundaries. We don't stand on business. We talk about it, but we don't do it. We don't stand on business. And it's because, it's because, I love them. Oh, they're so kind to me. Oh, this is my family. Oh, this is my friend, my childhood friend. Oh, this is my best friend. Really and truly, none of that matters, right? Your boundaries are your boundaries and you have to stand on them. Because if you don't have boundaries, people will walk right all over them. They will A-town stomp all over your boundaries. And if you let them get away with it once, they'll keep trying harder and harder and they'll do more and more to see how much they can get away with, right? Boundaries are the standard. Boundaries are the form of self love. Boundaries are a form of self respect. And so we need to have boundaries because if we don't have boundaries, we will overgive, we will overextend, and you'll find that the same people that you allow to step on your boundaries will not let you step on theirs. I promise you that. They will step all over yours, but they will not allow you to step on theirs. So I encourage y'all, stand on your boundaries. And if you don't have any, start creating some. Start thinking about some boundaries you need to create. And we'll talk some more about this later on in the series. All right, the last thing is a better relationship with self is needed for future you. You cannot move, you cannot grow if you do not have a better relationship with yourself. You need a better relationship with yourself for where you're going so that the next phase of your life, you don't get caught up in what people are saying about you. You don't get caught up when people are pulling and asking for your energy, asking for your time, asking for your effort. You'll have enough discernment to know where to go and what to do and where to give your energy and where to give your effort and where to give your time, where to give your finances, right? You have to have a relationship with yourself so good, so solid that you know who you are. You know who you are, you know where you're going. And guess what? Sometimes we don't have the roadmap, right? We don't have the full roadmap, right? God don't ever listen. The one thing I do know, He don't ever give you the full roadmap, right? He don't ever give you a full roadmap. He'll give you pieces and clues. And a lot of times we are accidentally pushed, or what it seems like accidentally pushed into our destiny, right? Pushed into our purpose. But you need to have a better relationship with yourself in order for you to grow. So I encourage each and every one of you to definitely work on, right? Even start journaling about where you are with your relationship with yourself. And I encourage you to do that because it's honestly, it's really necessary. So I just want to say that, I'm not standing here as someone who is super perfect, right? I am not perfect at all. I'm human, right? I'm standing here as someone who decided to look in a mirror and as someone who, instead of looking for distractions, I chose healing and I chose growth and I chose the art of becoming, right? And yes, we all will have our days where it seems like we've regressed, right? Where it seems like we're right back where we were, but we're never really right back where we were, right? Even if we fall off for a little bit, a few weeks, a few months, right? Even if we fall off, it doesn't mean that we're starting back from square one, right? So if this has resonated with you, and I really hope that it has, I encourage you to come back next week for Resilience Talks at 8 p.m. every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. ET. If you are in CT, it's 7 p.m. CT, 8 p.m. ET. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have not already, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@OctaviaTheOvercomer. You will find my page. You can also watch the playback. Now, just so you know, I did go live on Facebook, and I think Instagram was live. It cut off. I don't know. The technology is doing what it want to do. However, I will likely not be going live on all of my platforms next week. So if you've watched, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting about it over the next few days to give you guys an opportunity to like and subscribe. And truly, truly, I hope to see you all there so that we can talk about putting me first, right? Putting yourself first. And that's where we are. And I hope that tonight was a really good night for you all. I hope that you really take in something that was said, something that you saw, and really take some time to think about it and ponder on it. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out. But I had a beautiful night with y'all, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Real quick, I just want to shout out the people who could not comment, but they were here. Thank y'all for being here. I know you can't comment, or maybe I'm not seeing your comments. I'm grateful that you all were here. I don't take it lightly that you choose to spend your time with little old me. I don't take it lightly. So I'm super, super grateful for each and every one of you. And Siki, this was wonderful. Have a great night, everyone. Yes. I'm so glad I tuned in. So impactful. You are every bit of amazing. Good night, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Alicia. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Love y'all.